Hey,
Is it just us?
it's just us, kid. I don't know what happened to George. I'm not seeing him on. He has not answered me.
Oh, okay.
Well, I heard the craziest thing.
What happened?
So you know how Adam Carolla has a podcast?
As opposed to Jimmy Kimmel having his own late night talk show, but keep going.
Not to compare the two. Because he was on Howard Stern talking about how people always come up to him and he's like, how does it feel that Dr. Drew has more shows than you? And how does it feel that Jimmy Kimmel has a big show? And he's like, I'm happy for them, I guess. And they're like...
This is recent?
He says it happens all the time.
Oh, wow.
Like an interviewer will be like, how do you feel that the two people you were involved with in prior shows are now more successful than you? He's like, I guess I feel good. I don't feel good that you keep asking me that, though.
Right. Well, no, what show was he involved with Dr. Drew in?
Loveline.
Oh, really? And you know it's funny because I think Dr. Drew's kid is like, she came out saying she was like addicted to something, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot what it was.
Well, it is always interesting though, like if you have a specific profession and then your kid has the thing that you can cure, but because it's so close to home, you can't cure your kid.
I know. Or the kid is too scared to come clean
right.
to you. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they'll be embarrassed or something.
Right. That's crazy. But yeah, it's kind of weird that he was involved, that Adam Carolla was involved with both of them. And, lo and behold, these guys are bigger stars than he is, respectively.
Oh yeah, so the weird thing he was saying is, oh shit, what was it called? He was saying he's starting up a Kickstarter sort of campaign or one of those.
Right.
And basically it's to get money for patent trolls. Have you ever heard of a patent troll?
No, what is that?
A patent troll is someone who, it's like a business who buys up little patents, but then uses those patents to sue people who are using aspects of the thing they now own a patent on. For instance,
really?
Patent law was made to protect the manufacturer.
Right.
Like, if I invent something, then I can protect it against if someone steals it from me. But what these people do is they buy the patent from the manufacturer and then specifically sue people who are using something that vaguely could be the patent, I guess.
Right.
And
you're right. It's like almost like a form of corporate rating to an extent. Like, in terms of corporate rating, it's like, the business is not doing well, so you bring somebody along who will buy shares of the company. But then what they would do with the company, instead of like trying to improve it, they basically sell it off, for the most part. But in this case, it's more like they're just any vague semblance of, like you said, the invention being used, they're gonna fucking, take that person to the cleaners as much as they can until they reach some sort of settlement for the most part.
Well, I guess they do it all the time to like big corporations. So if they get a couple $1 million like settlement or some crazy number, I guess it's just a drop in the bucket to a big ass company like Apple or whatever. But now they're actually going to people who are just like, he runs his podcast as like a private business, Carolla. So they're suing him for like $3 million, saying, "Oh, because you have a podcast, it plays on the internet and." For instance, in this case, it was like the way that that your podcast hosting site like lists the tracks one by one, like how the tracks are sorted out, like Tuesday or March show, then the April show, then the June show, like that electronic thing that lists them is technically under our patent. So now we're suing you because you're distributing things without use of our patent, and it's like, what the hell?
All right.
I was kind of feeling bad for him. Like, I know there's always that mentality of like, oh, he's rich or whatever, but no, it's like this guy's just a guy doing his own thing. Right. Got it off the ground. It's successful, in its own little way for him, and someone's trying to like just completely like financially rape the guy. It's kind of crazy.
I know. That is fucked up. Tough. I mean, because you'll never hear them doing that shit to say like a Kevin Smith, You know, even though, you know what cracks me up? Like, there was a story, like, Kevin Smith wanted to rent out, like, some space that was owned by John Lovitz.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, apparently Lovitz was going to give him a reasonable price. But I guess, like, Lovitz, being the stiff that he is, you know, couldn't, like, basically wanted to rape the shit out of Kevin Smith for more money. So Kevin Smith said, fuck you, I'm going to go to another place and, you know, rent out another place to do my podcast. So.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, this is like a very disgusting time. Like, people are going to milk you for anything they can, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess as, like, people become entrepreneurial, I guess those are things they have to deal with. Shit, I was thinking about it, like, it'd be nice to own a business or own a property or something, like, don't have to pay rent. But then at the same time, what if someone just trips and falls on your property? Now you in a lawsuit?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Speaking of crazy, the show that I did in Pittsburgh is actually premiering tonight.
Oh, what's it called?
Those Who Killed, but I'll be in episode 3.
What channel is it on?
Annie.
Wow, Brian.
You don't have to be sarcastic. It's okay.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. It's cool.
You know.
Wait, so A&E 7 o'clock Monday?
Actually, A&E, yeah, I mean, it's 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what it would be in your time zone.
Yeah, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Or they always actually switch those. It's 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Right.
Those Who Kill, Brian Williams. Well, who did you kill? I assume you weren't the one getting killed.
They were trying to kill me. Some chick was trying to kill me. Would you believe it?
Was she cute?
She was crazy. I'll tell you that much. I mean, the actress who played the character, apparently my character rapes her when she was younger.
Oh, God. So it's like Spit on Your Grave style.
Right. And she basically finds the kid all grown up, you know, and she kills my son that I don't give a shit about because I have so many kids all over the damn place. So, you know, when she confronts me, my characters, you know, she says, your son is dead. And it's like, I ain't got no son, you know.
Wow. Now, is it based on like a true story or is it like a made up thing?
I'm sure it's a drama, but it's ripped from the headlines. I'm sure.
That's awesome. Are you going to get clips of that? I don't have any cable.
I don't think so, but I did get paid for it. But
no, you got to try to get a clip, or even you could download the episode at least so you could watch it.
Right. Yeah, I think A&E they'll probably put it on their website the episode. It's
really.
And then what I could do is like have somebody like rip the scene and then put it on my acting demo or whatnot.
We got to like play that on the show. Like,
oh, you want to do this?
I have no son.
I didn't say it like that.
Son, dun dun. I have no son.
Right, and then it's a ride, like seeing me like dodging bullets. You know, you'll get a kick out of that. You can watch it like on their website. So when they upload it, so that's
nice. Well, congrats.
Well, I mean, I just hope it leads to other things, I mean, it's cool that,
look at these people who did acting. It's just little by little, and then all of a sudden, one day, they're like, they're the best actor. Like, one day you get acknowledged. No, seriously, like, look at McConaughey, Like, all of a sudden, now he's the best actor ever. But, probably he's been doing it for a million years.
And to be honest with you, I mean, we can talk about this on the show. Like, I'm actually happy for him. Just because of the shit that he was putting out for like a hot minute, like all those rom-coms he was doing, Yeah. But the reality is he was making big, he was getting paid a lot of money for those. So I guess he figured like, he's at that point in his life that he could pretty much, choose his projects more carefully, and he could basically, create projects that he wants to do, like that True Detective, which I'm hearing is getting great, rave reviews.
Hey, when we do the Oscar talk, can you pull up like a list of what the nominees were and who the winners were?
Yeah, sure.
I actually haven't heard them yet. I actually have been avoiding it. I tried to watch it like 2 times. I put it on and I just had to turn it off. I only got through like half the red carpet.
Right. What is it, because of Ellen DeGeneres, or just how the nepotism in Hollywood of how they just congratulate themselves?
It's just so fluffy. And And then like everybody has this move now where like they have their mom with them.
Yeah.
That's such a weak move.
I know.
It's just so, like, for instance, if I were, I mean, I'm not in that situation, but I would want to do something cool. Like, I wouldn't want to bring even a date. I would want to, like, bring someone who was, like, who won the Nobel Prize or, like, had a very big science breakthrough, you know, because, like, give someone else a shine that deserves it.
Right, like a scientific breakthrough.
Like, give somebody, like, if you're dating a famous actress, she's not going to get any burn from being on the Oscars. We're not really. I mean, she's already in the scene. And the same really goes for, like, you know, your mom. Like, your mom's not going to be any better off for being on the red carpet. But, you know, if you take someone who's, like, you know, some sort of an inventor or scientist or something, you know, that would be a really nice, like, once-in-a-lifetime thing for them.
Right, it'd be a nice gesture.
It's not like they're not deserving. I mean, these people spend their day and night in a lab making things that help us.
Right. That, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, you get to be treated like a king for a day or a queen for a day when you take them out literally, you know, to an event like that.
The other weird thing is these guys, the reason they're taking their moms is they break up all the time, so it looks foolish when they look back at the years past of Oscars and they're like, oh, there's my ex.
Yeah, I know.
At least when you take your mom, it's like that'll always be your mom.
Right, exactly.
Unless Maury comes out and goes,
Right, exactly.
The results are in? No, I guess that's the dad.
That's funny.
That's why no one takes their dad.
Exactly.
Well, that's why, like, the Jewish religion, it gets passed through whoever, the mother. Because in the old days, you know, they would say, well, there's no way you could prove who the dad is, but you could always prove who the mom is.
Right. You know, but the usual suspects are like, you know, Leo DiCaprio, you know, and I guess you know, Bradley Cooper's like following suit now, and then you got the recent Oscar winner Jared Leto, you know, basically doing the same thing. But then again, they're very close in all their defenses. They're, you know, they're close to their mothers, so you know. But it is very
yuck. You know what it felt like watching it? Because then I see like Jennifer.
Oh yeah, and then Jonah Hill of all people did the same thing. That last time I checked, you know. Yeah, it is kind of so it felt yucky to you a little bit.
Especially when they're interviewing Jennifer Lawrence and how she's like kind of quiet, it really. And then you look at the whole event, and then you look at just start paying attention. Like, it really feels like you're watching that Hunger Games, how they were mocking those sort of things. Like, more than ever, it feels like the mockery version of that from the Hunger Games, where they're like, it's a beautiful night, let's talk to the stars.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen the film, and nor do I intend on seeing it, but I'm not surprised that it's that way, you know. And I think, and what cracks me up is that you have somebody like a Philip Seymour Hoffman doing it, but then again, of course, they gave him a big ass paycheck to do it. But he must have been like, "What the fuck am I doing on this set?"
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hey, I'm back with you.
Great. What happened?
I've got some things changing around the house. Neighbors shifting in and out, and I'm kind of just seeing what's going on, snooping a little.
Oh, just where the hell did you become the neighborhood watch?
What? I don't know. I just
You just became it. Bitch.
Oh, I actually got pretty lucky because one of my neighbors was moving out, and they were like, "We're moving in a rush. You want to take all our stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah." I got oh man, I got so much awesome stuff. I got an air mattress.
You lucky bastard.
I got a Ninja, one of those blenders.
Oh, okay.
And I got a Swiffer wet jet. And I got like a new silverware, like good silverware. Like I threw out mine from the 99-cent store.
Because they always kept breaking or basically rusted quickly.
Yeah, it was just flimsy. And what else? I got another cool item. I got a big shoe closet, like hold your shoes in. Oh, and she also gave me like 20 cans of soup, which I've already gone halfway through, and it definitely alters your digestive system when you're eating that much sodium.
Yeah, I can imagine. That can't be good. That can't be fun. I'm trying to... What's up?
I was saying, where's George?
That's what I was going to ask.
Let's try to call him.
Yeah, you should try. Give it a shot.
We got this crappy old phone.
Well, it's better than having a crappy mustache.
No, some people, they just can't get in touch with me. Like, if you try to call me from certain New York numbers, like, it just doesn't go through on my phone. And then I'll be like, you never called me. And they're like, I called you all the time. It went to this weird voice, this weird, this is not connected sort of thing.
All right.
It's pretty frustrating.
I can imagine. Jeez.
Well, that's what happens when you're a cheapskate. Yo, George.
Yo.
Let's go. What's going on?
Asking wild night.
Nothing much. What's up?
Oh, me and Brian are on the line on the show.
Alright, let me get on Skype, I guess.
You're guessing.
George, you sound worn out.
Well, it was a long night after watching the 3-hour telecast.
Sleeping. I don't know.
You have a late night?
Skype. I did not wake up before. This is my wake up.
Oh, well, good morning.
So
Birds are chirping. Please come on so we can have proper bird sounds.
Right.
All right, so yeah. All right, so George is stretching.
And then some, probably taking all 12 bitches off of him or something like that.
Yeah.
Regular.
I was gonna crack a joke, but I didn't know if his phone was on speaker.
Right.
Like, who are you with? I did that once to my uncle when I was like a little kid, and he got really pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Oh, he was like a bachelor, and he must have been in his 20s, and I was like 7 or 8. And
who are you?
I was like very talkative, and I was always like ask a lot of. We just talk too much.
All right.
And here we are talking, but I guess he was bringing home like girls to the house.
Right.
And he must have just been like dating.
Right. Now you're talking about the house back in Maspeth?
No, a different house. This was in Ridgewood. This was like the other side of the family. I lived there for like a year.
Oh, okay.
When I was like 6 or 7 or something like that. Anyway, he would bring home girls. And one time he brought home a girl, and I was like, "What happened to the other one?"
That's real smart.
He was
Get out of
boiling.
Get out of here, boy.
But karma got me back actually when I was like 20. I brought home a girl, and then my cousin said to me,
what happened to
called the girl by another girl's name, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you curled your hair." and I was like, "Nope. Nope."
Now, which one is this? Is this Zane?
Yeah, Zane was like, "Hey, you curled your hair." And I was like, this is the first time I'm introducing you, pal. So now what's the deal? Like, you don't want to be like goofy because your parents are home all the time?
It would seem that they're home all the time, but they're just this is great because one is at work. So
so which one would you be okay being goofy around?
I would say my mom, even though she doesn't condone it, but I don't mind it.
You should just go out to the car.
It's so fucking cold, dude.
No, that's why.
It's so goddamn
cold. So in the wintertime, you're going to just be boring Brian, and then in the summertime, you'll be flying Brian.
Right, exactly. I'm kind of like you with your sort of seasonal depression. I'm telling you, it's really depressing. I just cleaned up, some snow, considering, we didn't get that much. We got lucky. But still, that's all I've been doing, this winter is cleaning snow. It pisses me off.
Wow. You're just an angry shoveler.
Yeah, man. It's just like, really? I gotta do this shit? God damn it.
Justin, who calls, Justin who calls in with the sports rants.
Yeah.
He's a mailman, and he posts. It's so funny. He posts online like when snow's in his path or when like trees fall down on his path, and he like cuts a rant on like gardeners who garden in his way.
Mm-hmm.
Or if like gardeners are gardening in the middle of the winter, like he's like it's not necessary sort of thing. And then he'll take pictures of people's houses on his route that are like Christmas houses. Like they still have their Christmas decorations up, and he'll be like, Christmas decorations in March. Christmas decorations in March. Baffling.
That is baffling. I'll be honest.
He's so funny. He's like the angry mailman. I'm so amused when I see it.
All right. And this is a guy you grew up with for the most part?
Yeah, I went to school with him.
Oh, okay.
Way back when. Speaking of Brian, someone named Brian in school, there was actually a guy in school that me and Justin used to call Hawaiian Brian. I think he had like the Fat Kyle thing going on where he seemed like he was some sort of mix, but just because he was kind of big, he just resembled Hawaiian, so people just called him Hawaiian.
Right. I'm surprised they didn't call him Hawaiian Punch.
I don't even know if that was his name. I don't even know if Brian was his name. I just called him Hawaiian Brian.
You gotta be kidding me.
He might have been on our sports team or something, on our football team.
Oh.
Such a bad memory.
Yeah, it happens. It gets worse when you get older, you know. Just being honest, kid.
Or maybe you just choose to forget some things.
Selective memory goes a long way, you know. So, especially when you don't want to deal with the past, you know.
Well, what from the past don't you want to deal with?
I don't know. Looks like we got somebody joining us. Is that George?
Yeah, kid.
Wait, Brian. What from the past don't you want to deal with?
People from middle school.
Oh, man, you must have had some tough bullies.
No, I didn't have tough bullies. I just don't feel like talking to them because there was nothing memorable to talk about. Last checked.
Yeah, my memory kind of works the same too. Like if it's a boring event, I completely forget it. Like I only remember things that have like some sort of exciting, salacious feel to them. Hey George, what's up?
Yeah, kid.
You awake?
God.
Almost, kid.
Oh God.
Wow, you're really done for.
Yeah, it feels like someone beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, they should be.
Did someone's boyfriend catch up with you, beat your ass?
No, I'm too quick for that.
You don't sound quick for it.
Well, before your brain boots up, can you boot up your soundboard?
Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully, beep boop boop. Yeah, my.
Oh my God, you're really out of it, George. You gotta wake up and put on your cool guy persona.
Please.
I'm always
I can't.
cool. It's just I'm in first gear right now.
Well, stay that way. That way I can look good.
You sound like a pothead right now.
I haven't smoked weed in like a week. I shouldn't sound like this.
In a week?
That means that your body can't take it, sir.
I used to
to
smoke weed, but now I haven't done it anymore.
No.
It's too bad we're not recording this now. Are we recording this?
We are, and what Brian doesn't realize is we've been doing the show for 20 minutes already. New format.
No, I was on being on set yesterday.
Now watch Brian's gonna be like,
Damn it.
did you see Judi
Wait a
Dench
minute.
at the Oscar
Wait
party?
a minute. Kate Blanchett's acceptance speech was phenomenal. Kid.
Gotcha, Brian.
That hurts.
Is it okay, or do you want us to not use whatever we recorded?
My name is Brian, and I've just been punked. No, no, I'm kidding.
Too bad we're going to use it. Fuck me.
Is it okay, Brian?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh.
Brian, you don't have no choice.
We're going to find new ways to trick Brian every week. Like, just call him real quick for directions or some advice, and then just record the whole thing. And after an hour, we'll be like, All right, we're ready to start the show, and then we'll just hang up.
This is junk. This damn junk.
Right. So, what did you guys think of the telecast?
The telecast.
Yeah, kid, it was monumental and phenomenal.
That's my words. What's your words?
It was, well, me and Brian talked already. I said there was too many moms. Everyone's bringing their mom. And it just felt like a cheesy Hunger Games. It felt like when the Hunger Games was like mocking it. Mocking like entertainment sort of shows.
Yeah,
but that's how it is. I kind of did appreciate that the little selfie skit. I appreciated that. I thought it was funny.
Did you see the what was that skit with Jimmy Kimmel where he jumped through the TV screen and yelled at those haters?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't remember it, but I saw it.
Hey, Brian, can you pull up a list of who won what and who was nominated?
All right, I'm going to go from the least important to the most important. All right, so best achievement in visual effects, Gravity. Sound editing, obviously Gravity. Sound mixing, the same film I just mentioned. Best achievement in music written for a motion picture, original song, went to Frozen.
Everyone likes that song.
Let It Go.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I called a lot of this stuff. I have a witness as well.
Good for you. All right, best achievement in music.
It proves that I'm a genius when it comes to choosing actors.
Yeah, figure out a way to make money off of it. All right, so best achievement.
I made $20.
Okay, make more money. All right, best achievement in music written for motion pictures, original score, Gravity, which you deserve.
UPS is hiring.
Yeah, we could use some drivers. Best achievement in makeup and hairstyling, Dallas Buyers Club. All right, now we're getting to the good part. Best achievement in costume design went to the Great Gatsby.
That's the good part.
Yeah.
No, you know what? The Oscars is like super. Okay, here's the thing about the Oscars. The reporters, they don't ask like any tough questions, so it's a lot of fluffy stuff. So they wind up talking a lot about what the people are wearing. Yeah. So it kind of attracts like a very fashion sort of crowd.
That's the pre-show, though. That's the pre-show. That's not during the Oscars. They don't talk about that shit during the Oscars. It's pre and post. That's
I just fell asleep. That's what happened. I just fell asleep. I couldn't make it even through the pre-show. I was so bored.
No, I can't watch it.
But you would think that. Yeah, but you would think that if they like maybe went beyond the realm of just what's that. Like maybe if it was more interesting, it would draw a larger crowd than just the fashion people. So you wouldn't have to cater to just that demographic. No, it draws a huge crowd because of that.
Or if they talked about like the actual films and like the messages that the films were bringing up.
No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, I know, except us.
But George, you care about what dress the person's wearing or what?
No, absolutely not. I care about how they look. I don't care about about what they're wearing or why they're wearing it. I care about how all the chicks look, which they look hot. And it's interesting to see who's like how people are dressed, but everyone's usually wearing some variation of a tuxedo. But
so who was
no one. I didn't watch any of the pre-show shit, so I can't really say.
The
usual
funny?
Suspects are hot.
You know what's so funny in the pre-show? Seeing the guy from Captain Phillips, the guy who played the pirate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So funny, man, because he's there in the same show where like Leonardo DiCaprio, who has honed his look after years of acting, and then you got this guy who's got that lump on his head forever, that lump that won't go down.
I'm the captain now.
And he's got like a gold or brown tooth or dead tooth.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a mutual friend like call me saying like, "Wow, I thought that was fake," and I'm like, "Yeah." Would you think they use, 3D special effects for him? Like, seriously? Like, come on now.
No, he's like a real pirate or some shit, isn't he?
He could get some more villain roles. Maybe he could get another villain role, but, man, he's got a short list of roles he could go for.
Right, unless he, spends the money that he got from Captain Phillips on a serious makeover, I guess.
Who was the other girl that was scooped up by like a random selection? The girl from 12 Years a Slave.
Yes, Lupita Nyong'o.
She'll get more roles.
Right. She's actually in that number one film that right now, Nonstop with Liam Neeson. She plays like a stewardess. Go figure.
Yeah, I didn't
She's
realize
a pretty
that
girl,
came
but
out.
she's flat chested. Wow.
She's too fit. If she was less the flat chested wouldn't look as much if she wasn't as skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably works out like a maniac, or she's just like Ethiopian or something.
Well, no, she's from Kenya.
She's Kenyopian. Excuse me.
Kenyan. Anyway.
Oh.
You're Greek yogurt, peon.
Right.
I just peed and I ate some Greek yogurt.
Right. It's too bad you can't. You know.
You should put that on Facebook as a status update.
I'm in the mood for some.
Just peed, eating some Greek yogurt.
I'm eating Greek yogurt and peeing.
Did cocaine, washed the dishes quickly.
Congratulations.
Gonna make some eggs.
Yeah,
she deserved it. Gravity. They got best cinematography. I didn't necessarily agree with that.
Oh wait, Brian. So yeah, keep going with your thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Kid, do your job, kid.
Well, I was until you guys cut me off. All right, so I said that achievement in production design is went to the Great Gatsby. Best achievement in editing, Gravity. Best achievement in cinematography, which George didn't agree with. Best foreign language.
Wait, time out. Can you give for the big ones? Can you give the choices?
What do you mean? Like what big?
Can you give the who was nominated and who won for the big ones?
All right. Can I? All right.
All right, Brian. So who was wait, who was nominated for cinematography?
All right. Cinematography was Inside Llewellyn. What the hell is this?
Llewyn Davis.
Llewyn Davis.
Right. All right. Nebraska. Prisoners. And of course the Grandmaster.
Prisoners did look real good.
Yeah, what's up with the Grandmaster? Prisoners was good. You didn't see it? Did we see it together, Chris?
Yeah, Grandmaster Sexay. Yeah, we did see it together. It just had it wasn't anything over the top or artsy, but it just felt good, just well lit.
It was well made. I don't know how a movie all on a green screen wins best cinematography. You know what I'm saying? Why would that win over anybody else? Then again, the other candidates weren't that strong.
Best green screen effect.
Right. You think that they need a separate category for that?
Yeah, but that's visual effects, is it not? That movie was all visual effects, other than when they were in the pod, right?
Well,
Spoiler.
maybe even though the background, the way they shot the background and the way they.
I have to see it again. I saw it in the huge Chinese theater 3D, so you can't appreciate how a movie is made when it's being thrown in your face like that.
Gotcha.
You can't. So I'm not disagreeing. I was just shocked at the time.
Right. All right. So anywho, best animated.
You have a knock at your door.
Oh, yeah. That's George Clooney.
Yeah, he's gonna offer him a role. Anyway, best animated feature film of the year.
He's gonna be like, George, good news, Christian Bale died.
No, he was there. I saw him.
Fuck you say that.
What do you mean? Don't say that. I'm gonna take over if he does.
George is a dead ringer. He could play in the memoir.
Man, carve your own niche. Anywho, Frozen won best animated feature.
All right, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah. Hal Ramis, rest in peace. Anyway, best writing, screenplay based on material previously produced or published. Obviously went to 12 Years a Slave.
Okay.
Best writing.
Yeah, okay. Best writing. What was best writing and what was in competition with it?
All right, for best writing or best original screenplay, that went to her. For Spike Jonze, and its competition was American Hustle, Blue Jasmine, written by Woody Allen, Nebraska, and the Dallas Buyers Club.
I think Nebraska should have won that one.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, it was really good.
I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see Nebraska, but I've seen so many clips that it just looks incredible. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's black and white, which is cool, and a fellow Greek directed it. So I have to give a shout out. He actually won for the December.
Alexander Payne. Alexander Payne. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So
is that a bot name?
Well, it's probably Panopoulos or some shit like that. He turned it into Payne. There has to be something because Payne is not Greek unless You're a Spartan,
Clearly.
right?
But you know what Greeks could do? They should probably just use their last name as first names. Like, if his last name was Panopoulos, that should be his director name, Panopoulos. Directed by Panopoulos.
Like Madonna?
Yeah, like they'll sound like a philosopher. That would be good for a director.
Falafeler.
Right. So best achievement in directing went to Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity. His competition was Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, David O. Russell for American Hustle, Martin Scorsese for Wolf of Wall Street, and Alexander Payne for Nebraska.
They both got snubbed, huh? Wolf and Hustle.
Brian, for the next ones, can you give me the choices before the winner? I want to be surprised.
Oh, you
learn how to format yourself.
I've been purposely avoiding hearing these.
Yeah, okay. So let me drag this.
Learn how to format yourself.
All right, I'm dragging the suspense. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role. The competition was Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Julia Roberts for August Osage County, and June Squibb for Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And the winner is Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave.
Wait a second, you didn't list her as a choice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You left the winner out.
I figured she wasn't the loser, so I figured let me just present the winner in her own.
Let him try to choose. All right, start from the beginning. Chris, do you remember any of the answers?
Yeah, 12. That was right. 12 Years a Slave. That was the right one.
He remembers. He's just being a hard ass.
No, he didn't. He didn't see any of the answers. So no. Okay. So next go around, present him with a category and then all the contenders. Yeah. And then let him choose the potential winner, and then you, Brian, tell him if he's right or wrong. It's like a game show, you see?
Oh. Anyway.
George, you have any game show theme?
No game show theme. Okay. You done? All right, let's get this over with. All right, I'm your host Brian with the little multiple choice questions. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role: Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street, and Michael the Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave. Guess.
Jared Leto, because of the popularity contest. I think I might have heard this one too. Yeah,
you heard right. You heard right.
I think I told you last night, maybe.
All right. Good job. Moving on to best performance by an actress in a leading role: Meryl Streep for August Osage County, Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine, Judi Dench for Philomena, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, and Amy Adams for American Hustle. Yes.
I don't think Sandra Bullock was that good in Gravity. I really don't. I don't think she should have been nominated for Gravity. No offense to her. I thought she carried the movie. I just didn't think it was that great of a
She had to carry the movie. Who the hell's going to carry it?
No, I thought she was great at carrying the movie, but I just don't think it was that would be like saying Will Smith for carrying, what was that one where he was all alone?
I Am Legend.
Yeah, that would be like giving Will Smith the nod for best actor because he was all alone in I Am Legend. I really don't think I think they went with her because she was a draw, not because she was going to be a strong actress in a strong leading role. I really think she's done other better things too besides that one they nominated for her a couple years ago, The Blind Side.
Yeah, Miss Congeniality was better.
I thought The Blind Side was completely contrived, sentimental race nonsense.
Yeah, Chris doesn't like anything that has to do with happy Hollywood stuff.
No, it was just that. Okay. For instance, there was a scene in that movie, The Blind Side, where all her like down south Yenta-ish sort of friends were like, "Is that black boy sleeping in your house?" And she goes up to her friends, who granted they're friends for 20 years. You'd think she'd have like a more comfortable way of talking to them, and she just went up there with the, "How dare you?" She just walks away. It's like, I don't know. This is a little over the top for me. Yeah, man. Anyway, I'm just on a rant against Sandra Bullock. I think she's good. I just don't think she was the best actress of the year for Gravity.
She was very sexy in it.
Okay, so if they're going for the dark horse, I guess they choose Osage County. Blue
But
Jasmine.
why would they go for any sort of dark horse? For what?
I think as like a surprise, it was probably Blue Jasmine or maybe they went Julia Roberts, but she has enough of those.
I didn't even mention Julia Roberts.
So who's the choice, Chris?
I thought you did. Oh,
No, that was.
I think
Meryl
I'm gonna
Streep.
go. I think I might have had a clue on this one too. I think Blue Jasmine is the one, but that's the most standout role because that when we saw that movie, we were like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That was a psychotic performance.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's mine.
You got it.
Hey, I might have cheated on-
Oh yeah. That if she didn't get it, I would have been very upset. But there was no shot. No one was going to take it from her. If Osage County was any good, maybe Meryl Streep.
Right.
Would have
But
been
I mean, but the reality is that Cate Blanchett could practically play any part if you pretty much gave it to her. I'm thoroughly convinced. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I could play any part too. Give me.
You know what's the weirdest thing about that movie and why she's so good? Like, in that movie, she was trying to convince herself that she was classy the whole time. So, in a way, as you were watching it, you kind of believed it. Like, as I was thinking of that movie, I was like, oh yeah, I remember she was always wearing nice shit. And then when I saw stills from the movie, I'm like, wow, she actually looked haggard. Like, she was able to portray the thing she wanted you to believe, but she was also portraying the exact opposite of at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
plus she was tortured because she loved that life, but she's also the one that fucked it up. I mean, it would have happened regardless. Eventually, it would have eventually come to a crashing halt. But she's the one that kicked in the emergency brake when she called the FBI.
Oh right. Yeah, that movie was sick.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Kudos to Woody Allen for that.
Woody Allen sounds like he's been getting the FBI called on him a few times.
Various babysitters.
Right. But I mean, how many people?
Whoever turned old enough to use the phone called on him.
Oh my god.
Right, but how many? Do you guys know how many women came forward with these allegations? It's just one, right?
Against Woody Allen. As far as recently, I think it's just been one.
So that's
Right. So it doesn't. I mean, it won't hold up.
No, I mean everyone knows he's a pervert. What's the difference?
Right, but he didn't do it.
Who knows?
I mean, he's perverted with his filmmaking, but he didn't. But he didn't do it. It's not like
Leave me alone.
all
right.
right.
It's not like Michael Jackson, where I mean, even though Michael didn't do it, he just looked guilty.
Yeah, right. You think Michael Jackson didn't do it just because he's black and you're black?
Now that's just being obvious.
Michael Jackson is clearly a Chinese woman. Move on.
All right,
He's a child himself. Of course Michael Jackson did all that shit.
It's so funny how famous Michael Jackson is that people talk about him as if he's still alive.
Oh yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Like he was so influential. Like his music, dude, the Thriller came out like 30 years ago, bro. It still holds up. Like there's very few songs. You know the songs from like the classic rock guys that still hold up. Yeah.
Well, because it's just good dance music.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
You wouldn't feel embarrassed dancing to it now.
No, well, depends. But no, it was great, and he did it on his own. He produced it. He wrote it. He sang it on his own. That's the craziness. Like he was a genius, genius. But that's also why he was a little bit crazy.
You got to say he is a genius because remember he's still alive.
Oh yeah, he's in Moscow somewhere. I think he's at Sochi.
No, it's weird. It's like everyone acknowledges he's dead, but talks with the is instead of was. Michael Jackson is crazy. Michael Jackson is rich. Man, Michael Jackson is famous.
He might be in Sochi with
oh Lord.
Or North Korea maybe has him.
I wonder what Sochi's like now that the international cameras have gone.
It's called business as usual. Whatever kind of, corruption is going on.
We have to kick the gays out of the country.
All right, come on, Brian. Please.
So, here's one. Best performance by an actor in a leading role. Christian Bale for American Hustle. Bruce Dern for Nebraska. Leo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street. Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, God.
For Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, shit. Okay, it's one of the last three for sure.
No, it isn't.
The what? Really?
Brian, let the man speak.
Okay, I was thinking they were going to give it to Leonardo DiCaprio. But the guy from 12 Years a Slave was really good. And Dallas Buyers Club. He was good. I just thought Mud was better. I thought Mud should have got better attention than it got. That was a great movie, Mud.
I actually have to see that, but
it was just fun. It was completely well made and completely fun. I don't think it would like make Best Picture list, but it should. I mean, I think it was one of the best movies I've seen in the last year or two.
So you're saying it's between the guy from 12 Years, McConaughey, and who?
I would say they gave it to Leo, but I guess I'm wrong.
Is that what you're guessing?
I guess so. As Brian already told me, I'm wrong.
You got it. You are wrong.
I got it right. I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. Give me a prize.
All right.
Brian, who was it, Brian?
What he said, Matthew McConaughey.
Was it one of the last three? And you said no, you're wrong.
Well, I wanted to throw you off. And I did a damn good job of it. So.
Got me. You're like a Batman villain.
The
misdirector.
McConaughey, man, what a fucking year. What a year.
I know.
You're going to win Misdirector of the Year?
Yeah, that's a fat chance, but, you know. No, I'm actually happy for McConaughey. You know, what a turnaround. And before we joined you, George, we were talking about, like, you know, how he used to do all those crappy rom-coms and all that. And, you know, it's great that he was able to.
George still does crappy rom-coms. No,
not that.
That's how I have to get. That's how I have to get my career kick-started. I'm waiting for a crappy rom-com.
No, but I'm just saying, well, the difference between you and McConaughey, he was actually making money off of those crappy rom-coms, and he made enough where he was able to basically pick and choose his own projects. And now, you know, with True Detective, you know, he was able to like collect the best writer and the director.
What are you talking about? George gets a new sugar mama MILF every week from doing those rom-coms.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't pay him. Anyway,
off the books, kid.
Clearly. Best motion picture of the year.
Be careful, it's tax season. What?
Best motion picture of the year. We got The Wolf of Wall Street, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, Her, Gravity, Dallas Buyers Club, Captain Phillips,
okay,
and last but not least, American Hustle.
Okay, let's get rid of American Hustle. Let's get rid of... so if they're going for best produced in terms of production value, it's got to be Gravity. But that was such a populist movie. But Best Picture is a Best Producer award, so it would have to be Gravity for how well it was put together and how much it drew in terms of a popular film that was also well made. But if it's talking about Best Film of the Year, I would say it had to be 12 Years a Slave. It was just perfect. But it was perfect in a different way. They were both really good. And I would say my third choice, what was that? Maybe they would go Dallas Buyers Club because of the political angle. If they were going the sentimental way, I would say 12 Years a Slave, best film. Most political, they would have to give it to Buyers Club, and Gravity would have to be shit. It's either Gravity or 12 Years. Would they go best movie route or did they go best produced route?
No, they have to. It's a Best Picture.
Yes, but that's a producer award. Best overall picture. It's a vague term. What does it mean to be the best producer?
Now, Chris, before you guess, like, why did you cross off American Hustle? Was it really that bad?
I don't think it was really that bad, but shit, how do you really contend with those other ones this year?
That were far superior.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, we're talking about perfect films, and really, in terms of perfect films, it should have been on that list. All Is Lost. That was actually a perfect film. That was probably the best movie I saw this year, and that was slightly. I would say that edges out 12 Years a Slave, because 12 Years a Slave was so heavy.
Yeah, they didn't get any press, nothing. Even Robert Redford was pissed.
Okay, let me put it this way. You've already heard that I don't like overly sentimental things. But this 12 Years a Slave was handled so well. It was handled race and all of that in a non-sentimental, historical, and powerful way. I would say 12 Years a Slave is the best film of the year for that reason. It's most memorable.
Right, and you're right. And here's the thing. I always felt like history, if you're going to approach history, it should almost be approached like a horror film. You know, from what I've been hearing of 12 Years a Slave, in terms of this is practically primal in horror in the First Order.
Well, that's because of the.
Yeah, and that's true. It was like a horror movie. Any movie is better when it has a horror element. That's why Steven Spielberg films were good. They always had that mysterious, slightly like what's behind the door feel to it.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, did you tell him which one it is?
Can we? He didn't. No formal announcement, but the winner is.
The winner is 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, it was just the most memorable. I don't think it was the best film of the. I think it was like a 99 out of 100. I thought All Is Lost was like 100 out of 100, and I think Gravity, in its own way, was up there too. But I think 12 Years was definitely the most. I mean, I could remember even little details about it, and I saw it once, and I will probably not see it again. I won't need to. I'll remember it.
All Is Lost only got nominated for like best score.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. That was so believable. Every frame of that movie was believable. That was the thing with 12 Years as well. Every frame of it was believable. You could even say in Gravity, like one or two shots, you were like, okay, now I could tell that looks fake, which is a great feat because it was an hour and a half of things that looked perfectly real or believable to the casual eye. But no, 12 Years a Slave made you feel like you were there, which was horrifying because you felt like you were stuck in slavery with that guy. That was terrible.
Duh. That's what they were going for.
I know. That's why it was the best picture.
All right. Well,
Brian, you're so exciting.
Well, you guys, I mean, you want to hear the below the line stuff that no one really cares about, like best achievement in makeup?
Yeah, I can say, give me best editor, best makeup. Who? All right.
Best achievement in makeup and hairstyling. We have Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa.
Really?
The Lone Ranger, Dallas Buyers Club.
Wait, who won?
The Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, that was good. Who? Yeah, just who won these categories? Who won editor and that stuff?
Okay, fine. Hang on.
Yeah, there's no suspense to those.
All right, so
there's no suspense to anything with this.
All right, best short film, live action went to Helium, which actually looked pretty good. Well, then again, most of the nominees look pretty good, you know. Best short animated went to Mr. Hublot. Best documentary short subject was The Lady in Number 6, even though I felt like, should have won. I want to say Cave Digger. No, not Cave Digger. It was either that or Facing Fears.
Was Blackfish nominated for anything?
Surprisingly.
No. Really?
No.
Wow.
No.
Didn't even get best documentary nominated?
Why? You actually saw that, correct?
Yeah. I don't think it was the best documentary ever, but it was, like, very full of message, like.
Oh, okay. Best documentary feature, 20 Feet from Stardom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that was going to win because it was so well made, but...
Act of Killing was nominated as well.
I know, Act of Killing. Well, here's the thing about Act of Killing. That's so powerful and memorable, just like 12 Years a Slave was, but I knew 20 Feet from Stardom was going to win because it was, like, very tightly made, but...
Because Hollywood is very gay.
But Act of Killing, oh yeah, and it's like everyone in Hollywood can relate to that. But Act of Killing, that was one of the most bizarre, fascinating things I've ever seen in Lifetime.
What the hell is that about?
Act of Killing is where this documentary film crew told this old warlord in Southeast Asia that they were going to make a artsy film recreating his war crimes, basically. So they did all these like artistic representations of how he like killed communists in the street and stuff like that. But what they were really filming is all the behind the scenes footage of how these guys were acting and how like all their violence was glorified, and as they were older men, you know, everything was kind of like glossed over, like that was the past and it was wonderful. A really fascinating like psychological study of like human violence and stuff like that.
So sounds interesting. Even though I thought Dirty Wars seemed interesting.
That seemed good too. I knew they were going to give it to 20 Feet from Stardom.
But the problem is that it's like Dirty Wars, from what I heard, is more of an indictment on the Obama administration, and there's too many lefties in the
Obama.
Yeah, so they weren't.
Long-legged Mac Daddy.
Oh my God.
They weren't going to give it. So they gave it to 23 from Stardom because I guess again, this is kind of like, reinforces certain stereotypes of like, white filmmakers, like, showcasing, they're showcasing the, black talent basically, 23 to Stardom, and it's really that.
The filmmaker. I was surprised when I saw that because I thought it had like a Motown vibe to it, and then when I did see them get up when they won, and said, "Oh, it's a lot of white guys here." Which one?
Right, I know. It's basically the gist of it is like backup singers. It's really about the backup singers who basically help out the biggest bands of popular music, and they're just bringing the people that help these guys out to light. That's all it is.
Black entertainers historically have a very strange role in American entertainment.
Don't remind me.
It's so odd. It's almost like it just sometimes it feels like the casting is contrived.
Roughly.
Like it seems like the people are put there for effect, and it's noticeably.
Oh, and
right.
For Best Director, Bill
Murray. It doesn't like
also.
The story. It's almost like it doesn't fit this. If you were from any other place, and just seeing this film and not knowing the history of America, you'd be like, something feels out of place here. But there's some sort of like mass mania that's like, oh, I understand this story.
Right.
These films go all over the world. They should be cast a little better with this situation.
Right. But what cracks me up is that, it's interesting that, they have these films like, these categories on the telecast when in reality should be on another telecast. I don't know. I'm just not sure if people really care about the best documentary feature. Because,
because they do those other awards on. I know the show was long and boring.
Right, and
it's long and boring, I guess.
Right. And the thing is that when you have all these other categories that no one cares about, it's like really, get to the meat and potatoes. Because the reality is that no one's going to go out of their way to see best short film animated or best live action short. No one's just going to go out of their way to see those.
Well, unless you're serious.
Right.
Okay, all right, so that was the Oscars.
Yes.
It was, I guess, boring, as Brian, you sound asleep even talking about it.
Brian sounds asleep talking about anything.
That's how far.
Yes, the house went on fire, and I ran out and almost died. And
when I really should have died.
I did manage to save my Batman 37 comic book.
Okay, so what else? Harold Ramis has died.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray nominated him actually.
For what?
For Best Director. It was an ad lib. It was an improv. He's like, here's for Best Director, and he announced the nominees, and afterwards, before the winner, he's like, oh, and Harold Ramis for Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, and Groundhog Day, and the crowd blew up. They blew up when he said that.
The crowd was like going crazy when they saw Bill Murray on the red carpet, and the reporter was like, What would you like to see tonight from this show, Bill Murray? And everyone else was like, I just think it's wonderful, and I hope everyone wins. And Bill Murray was like, I hope they just make it an hour and a half so I could go home. And then they quickly cut away from it.
Bill Murray doesn't give a shit.
Oh, no, he doesn't. And it's hard to believe that, him and Ramis didn't speak to each other for like close to 20 years, over 20 years after Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you go to Chicago.
3, huh?
Huh? Yeah.
Ghostbusters 3.
Well, maybe if he was holding it up, maybe now that it will be made, if Ramis was holding it up.
Yeah, but what are you going to do without Egon?
Yeah, have him as a ghost gone.
They're saying that they might, continue without Egon, which I find hard to believe. But all right.
Well, it's so funny how, like, I guess the only one you really need is Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray.
Ernie Hudson, too.
You don't need Egon. He was like a goofy side guy. Nah, they all filled a certain role. They all filled a certain role.
Of course, you need all of them, especially Rick Moranis and Slimer.
Well, that was the problem with the video game. The video game was like a third movie. The only person who was missing was Rick Moranis, and it was Felt.
Of course.
In the video game, if you play it, they all reprise their roles.
Right. Except Rick Moranis.
And they also didn't have Dana Barrett because the storyline was that after Ghostbusters 2, after the happily ever ending, happily ever. Yeah. So apparently, right after that, Bill Murray just broke it off again or something because he screwed up again, and he was like chasing a new girl the whole time, which kind of fit. But the one that was really missing was Rick Moranis.
That works.
Anyway, I guess no Ghostbusters 3. It was always weird when like you'd hear this news like, oh, it's gonna be out. Oh no, they don't even have a script for you. Oh, they do have a script. Oh, it's confirmed. And I think a lot of these were just Bill Murray that was just working reporters. Like one day he'd say it was on, the next day he'd say he never heard of it.
So did I tell you guys that another Liam Neeson action fest is #1 at the box office?
Oh yeah, I want to see that movie. It's so weird.
Why do you want to see that?
I have no clue why I want to see it, but I want to see it. What's that movie called?
Nonstop, because he's in 0 G with that one scene where the gun comes closer to him and he grabs it, something like that.
Something about a man on a plane. Ever since Air Force One, that story just works.
He's
even
a U.S.
snakes, even snakes on a plane work.
Right. He's a U.S. Air Marshal who's being, terrorized by this one guy that he doesn't know who he is. He's basically killing passengers every 10, 20 minutes, unless he gets his demands met or something like that.
That looks awesome. I want to see that. Brian, what's going on in the news?
All right, there was an over 80-year-old lady who basically found out that the baby that she had a miscarriage with was still in her body, and apparently it was calcified 40 years later. I don't know if you guys heard about it. And
so she has like a pearl. She made like a pearl. Basically.
I mean, apparently she went to the doctor complaining of headaches and stomach pains, and when they did like a little scan of what was going on, they saw that, the infant or the fetus was still in her womb all this time. Now, this is one of several hundred cases that, goes noticed, but unfortunately what happened is they didn't take it out, the doctors.
They left it in there.
Yeah, they just left it in there, which is crazy.
That's so, yeah. Well, that's so weird. That's like, that's like those runners who break their leg and they've been running on the broken leg for a year and don't realize because their muscles are so defined.
I know.
Jeez.
That is crazy.
What would happen if she got pregnant again?
That is an excellent. Well, I doubt it's going to happen now because, she's long in the tooth in age, so that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, what if you were a younger woman and that happened to you? Oh, that's so weird.
I know.
Like, if they gave you a sonogram, then the next time they'd be like, wait, there's two babies in there? One's grown and one's little? What's going on in there?
Right. And, then the new fetus. That
woman must have been so freaked out.
Oh, I'm sure she was. Well, in other news, another woman has become the world's oldest person by turning 116 years old. Misao Okawa turned 116 on Wednesday, which is an incredible milestone.
That sounds right.
Now, the year she was born, Queen Victoria was still on the throne, the Spanish-American War was well underway, and the Boston Marathon was in its second year. So, and basically she told everyone her secret as basically it's eat and sleep and you will live a long time and you have to learn to relax.
Everybody who lives that age has their own secret and it's completely contrasting from the next person.
Oh, I know.
I think it's just luck. Some people live long. Some people are like, yeah, I never smoked. And then some people are like, I smoked every day. People are like, I drank every day. I never drank or drop. I exercised. I never exercised. I didn't go too crazy. And we try to find ways to attribute it. We all just want to live forever, or at least I do.
I don't.
Trying to find a cure for this death thing. But please.
Right.
Come on.
Well, this is going to be a hat trick in terms of my news segment because this is about Betty White. Now, I just found out yesterday that Betty White is official. She's older, literally older than sliced bread. She sliced bread was in its inception was around 1928. She was born in 1922. So
wow,
a little food for thought for you guys.
Wow. She has the
Yeah,
same hair color as White Bread.
She does.
You know, I was listening to one of her audiobooks, Betty White. She's a pretty fascinating woman. I mean, no one else has had... We talked about Shirley Temple coming up in the golden age of
Hollywood, yeah.
Hollywood films, but, you know, she's been there since the beginning of television. Like, she was a young woman when television started, and she's been on television consistently
Right.
since its inception.
Right. And
Shirley
it's funny
Temple.
that-
Shirley Temple.
Betty
Black.
White.
Betty White.
She was on... Well, I guess the Golden Girls was no, what was the show where she was kind of like a nympho?
I would believe
Golden
that would
Girls.
be the Golden Girls.
No. She was the nice one on Golden Girls. What was she? What was that Mary Tyler Moore show?
Mary Tyler
Okay,
Moore.
so what happened in the beginning was, of the beginning of TV, she would play these roles where it was like super all-American, and people just thought she was corny. Like, she had a corny vibe for a while because she's so sweet, and people were like sick of how sweet she was. We're talking about mainstream years of exposure when everyone was watching TV, so everyone knew about her. So when she went on Mary Tyler Moore, it was so shocking because now they had her playing just as sweet, except she was like stealing women's husbands and sleeping around and stuff like that.
I always thought that was Blanche.
Dude, I'm not talking about
The Golden Girls.
Golden
I know,
Girls.
but it just screams Blanche. But keep going.
Well, yeah, that's what happened, and then they turned her back sweet. So she was like, the mainstream public was like coming out against her essentially because she was too corny, and then they turned her essentially bad in a way. And
Well, back in the
she-
60s, you're saying everyone was corny back then.
Well, in the 50s, yeah, in the 50s she was corny, and when Mary Tyler Moore came out, then they turned her like that, and she just found ways to always stay on TV, and she's like super sweet. So
Right, and
everyone
still,
loves her.
and also is still sharp as a whip. If you watch Hot in Cleveland, like I feel like timing wise, she blows the other three actresses out of the water for the most part.
Yeah,
Like they just
really fascinating.
And I just found out recently that Will Smith is officially older than James Avery was when he started working on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It doesn't seem like that because James Avery was fat.
Right, I know, but it's crazy.
Yikes.
Right, and speaking of which, I think Will Smith won a Razzie the other day. Him and his son Jaden.
Oh, who won the Razzies? Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that movie with him and his son, that was really poor.
Yeah, After Earth. And I think Hugh Jackman also won a Razzie for his ensemble piece in movie 43 that nobody went to see. I don't know if you remember the promos for movie 43,
Oh, no,
but
I
it was
don't
like
remember.
it was a who's who of A-listers doing a lot of small skits that were like very obscene and nasty and dirty and whatnot. And it got panned by the critics. And what cracked me up was when they did the red carpet premiere for it,
Yeah.
none of them showed up. It was all these B and C listers showing up to this one premiere. That cracked me the hell up. That was
So
funny.
crazy.
Well, yeah, that movie was just a bad spoof movie.
Right.
What else? What else won?
Oh yeah, Kim Kardashian. She won for that Tyler Perry film Temptation as the worst actress. Which is
Tyler Perry, man. You gotta admire his drive, and his
Right.
mentality.
I did.
But he's like Lloyd Kaufman. He's just famous for making bad movies.
But you know what cracks me up is that, he was on the telecast last night and he's, talking about Nebraska. Now I'm like, why would they have him talk about a film that had all these white people and there was no brothers in there? And it's in black and white on top of that. And on top of that, I don't even think there's any brothers in Nebraska in real life.
The real Nebraska.
It's like, really? You're going to have him present, he's going to talk about this film that, like, I guess they were trying to,
so it's so way
yeah,
off.
I guess they figured
way off base.
that they were going to, like, all right, I guess one way to get, like, different demographics to go see this film was, like, get the most popular black guy, in Hollywood to convince him to see this cracker film.
Well, so you're wrong for that, Brian. But it's so very
I'm just being
very PG, both Nebraska and Tyler Perry stuff. So I guess that could be a crossover.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Brian. Is anything going on in your real life?
You mean aside from me waiting for a show to premiere tonight? No, nothing's going on.
Brian, do you?
I have.
I wonder if Brian has a personality or just a list of shows he likes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grown Ups 2 won an award. That was great. And also, I think Sly also racked up another Razzie for himself, which is not surprising.
For Grudge Match?
Close. I think it's Escape Plan.
He was a little better in Escape Plan.
Yeah, it was a little better. I have a list of what was in the Oscars goodie bag. Some of the stuff is ridiculous.
Oh,
I'm
right.
all ears.
I'll start from the most expensive, I guess. A walking tour around Japan from Walk Japan, valued at $15,000.
What the fuck? That's why these guys bring their moms.
A trip to Las Vegas.
Keep the money in the family.
Jesus. A trip to Las Vegas, including tickets to shows, backstage passes to meet Meatloaf and Boys to Men, and 2 nights at the Riviera Penthouse Suite. $9,000 valued at. Wow. There's craziness here. There's an O-shot procedure to help a woman's sex drive, valued at $2,700.
Yeah, I could use some of that. The 27. You know what I mean?
10,000 meal donations from Ellen DeGeneres, Halo Spot, Stew, Pet Food to Shelter of the Nominee's Choice, $6,100.
Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing Ellen doing her shticky thing in front of a big audience. Like, that might work for the Xanax crowd, but I wonder if she's good,
She was,
and she's, that's the next nominee. It's kind of like, come on, Ellen, you're a smart woman. Like, that shtick is getting old.
But that's her deal. She's not going to come out with a new thing for the Oscars. That's her deal.
Yeah, just weird seeing that at the Oscars. You have this prestigious show and this mumbling host.
But that's what her deal is. She's a quirky lesbian. That's why it works. People like her because she's a quirky lesbian. I think
in real life she's like a hardcore pimp.
She might be.
I think she talks like this.
Hey, Portia.
I think she makes like cutthroat deals on the phone.
Come here and squeeze my nipples, Portia.
Yeah.
Get on your knees and bark like a dog.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm watching Ellen and I see her have like a pretty actress on, and then she'll be leaning over like a dude, like, yeah, that's cool. Everything you're saying. That's really cool.
Well, I mean, of course, Carson did that in his heyday and whatnot, and so nothing new.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so what's it?
She's getting her male chauvinistic side on. That's
so funny when you see that. She's such like a baller. Okay. Really? What else?
Let's see. I'm just gonna read random things then, because there's literally 50 things.
Everyone gets so everyone's total value of their basket is like $100,000.
Something crazy like that. Oh, there's this for you, Brian. 2 Mace pepper guns, $120.
That's not it in there.
There's I swear to God it is.
Wait a second. So they give you the sex drive treatment and they give you the mace?
Yeah, Brian, you'll be exploding if you take both.
Yeah, that brings out my inner quagmire. Thanks.
There's a house call with an acupuncturist for value at $500. There's supplies from Epic Pet Health for $1,500.
Wow.
There's a home spa system.
It's just so hard to connect with this show. Everything about it screams like the gaudiest award show.
I know. I can't wait to be
It's just so hard to connect. Like, there's people in this country that have mega problems, and then you've seen this like Fantasyland bullshit.
Well, for them, it's not bullshit. That's life.
It's just not. It's just that show is off.
There's some horse shampoo and conditioner made for human hair.
What? Do they do these baskets for the Grammys and the?
They have other baskets. I know every award show you get prizes, like gift baskets.
Because I guess that's your way to pay off these people for all signing off on being like on camera for the night sort of thing, right? Because it
I
is
guess.
kind of like they're acting in a way, or they're, you know, being on camera for the night. Like, they are showing up to this thing.
Right.
And a lot of them aren't. Now, who gets these baskets? Do you have to be nominated, or does everyone in attendance?
I think those who are invited, you know, they get everyone gets a basket.
Like the guest list people.
So who are the rest of the people?
That is an excellent question.
I think that not everybody's on the guest list, but I'm sure people they get to invite other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sure the invited people from the guests don't get the gift baskets.
It's like Hollywood to create a hierarchy of bullshit, and that you know, the different lists just reinforce that.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame, shame, shame.
Shame on me.
Shame on you for
That's why people like Jennifer
talking
Lawrence.
bad about.
That's why people like Jennifer Lawrence or Bill Murray, because it seems like they don't really. They're only half-heartedly there, or at least they're acknowledging that this is a little bit of nonsense.
All right.
Well, Jennifer Lawrence is just whacked out. Bill Murray's old, so he doesn't care.
Right.
Bill Murray's been not carrying and old-looking since he was a young man.
I know. That was great. Has he ever been nominated for anything? No, right?
No.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Recently, right?
Somewhat recent.
The last 10 years or so, yeah.
Oh, yes, when he was playing the dictator. Or he was playing like a king or a president. Remember?
I don't think, was he nominated for that?
No, like
he played Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Right, he was FDR, and he was nominated. Was he nominated for Lost in Translation, but he lost? But that was like previous decade, if I'm not mistaken.
He was good in that. I didn't see the FDR one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Let's wrap this up.
Well, I did my best.
All right, let's take this home, guys out there. Everybody, thank you for listening to Shooting the Ish. This is Chris, along with George and Brian.
Thank you, guys.
And all right, we'll see you next time.
Later.
See ya.
Later.